Welcome to Trust, Then Know, the Jackie Boyd Podcast, a podcast providing education, information, and mostly inspiration that will help you become the best version of yourself. Join host Jackie Boyd for engaging and intriguing conversations. Now, Trust, Then Know, the Jackie Boyd Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trust and Know, the Jackie Boyd Podcast. This is episode number 9. Oh my goodness, I'm so thankful for these episodes. I'm so thankful for my guests. The Jackie Boyd Podcast is all about bringing you information, education, but mostly inspiration to help you become the best version of yourself. We want to bring you people who have something to say, to help inspire you to become, to help inspire you to become your best version of you. We are on every second and fourth Tuesday of the month on all your major podcast platforms: Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. We want you to check us out. There's no excuse. Like and share. And if you've ever heard anything we've said that you think somebody can use, share and like. So today, I am so excited because I have my friend, Mr. Daniel McKenzie. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And tonight, we're going to dive deep, okay? We're going to dive deep, Mr. Daniel. We are talking about men navigating the landscape of just becoming the best man they can be. That's what we're going to talk about. Daniel and I were just having a casual conversation, and he was just sharing some things with me as a young man. Daniel, I won't tell your age, but he's a young man. And we were just talking about things that I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about. So we're going to dive a little bit tonight, Daniel, and just kind of give the folks some information that could probably help another young man or even some women out there understand the landscape for you as a young man becoming the best man you want to become.
Exactly.
Is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay. So, first of all, Daniel he moved here, and that's interesting when you come from another city, another area, you have to learn your city a little bit.
Correct.
Especially if you're kind of trying to get plugged in and meet people and that sort of thing. So this is not really a relationship conversation necessarily, but we're just going to talk about what men have to do versus women in trying to just navigate.
All right.
Just everyday stuff. So talk to me about some of the things that you think about. If you think about things that maybe keep you up, or things that as a man that you are constantly having to deal with, tell me what some of those things are.
I mean, honestly, the first thing is being a good husband and being a good father, right? So I don't have any children.
Okay.
Right? But one thing that, I guess prevented me from having children is I don't want to be a horrible father. So sometimes I put too much pressure on myself just because it's like I want to be that head for my first son, my first daughter, and I feel scared, honestly.
Wow.
Like I might make mistakes or I don't have my finances in order.
Okay.
So for me, finances, having a mental maturity.
Okay.
Right? So, my father wasn't really in my life. So, for me, that's always been a hard thing because it's like, I don't want to recreate these generational patterns. Right? So, before I have a kid, I need to fix myself.
That is huge for you to, first of all, admit and to admit in front of people.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we don't address things. We want to keep them quiet. We want to keep them under wraps, hoping no one sees it or no one knows. But the first step toward changing something is admitting it.
Correct.
So we all have fears. Not just men, but women have fears too.
Yes.
Becoming, a mom for the first time,
Correct.
Being married, your first job, whatever, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a first. So I appreciate you being honest about that. So again, women, sometimes we want to get into the heads of the men. Guess what? You need to check this episode out tonight because you said it. You think about your finances.
Correct.
You think about, can you be the image of that father or that husband that you want to be?
Correct.
And those things concern you. So is it concern or do you worry about it? I mean, tell me where that is and what do you do to combat that?
It's a fear, honestly, for me. I'm not in poverty, but I fear that I would have children and end up on welfare because I don't have my situation correctly, right? So I know you'll never be financially prepared 100%, but I think there's a lot of things that we don't discuss when we're starting a family. We just wing it. And for me, that's never really worked out in my life positively. So it's like, I want to have a plan, a roadmap. And when it comes to like relationships and dating, it's always been a struggle because it's like, I'm a workaholic. I'm very passionate about working. Even if I was a millionaire, my work ethic would not change. I just enjoy working.
Enjoying working.
So when it comes to like building and having relationships, I know eventually I got to start slowing down. So now at my age, which is 35.
Okay. He said it, not me.
Which is 35, I'm starting to have to think a little bit differently because I can't keep putting in all of these hours if I'm trying to build a family and be a good father. Because remember, for me, it's about being a good husband and being a good parent. Not having a father in my life really affects me. So I want to be present. But at the same time, I want to be financially set.
Understood.
And that's where I'm struggling now.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you have mentors? Because here's the thing. People think once you're an adult, you don't need mentors. That is so untrue. Because first of all, we should keep a teachable spirit, right? A teachable spirit says, regardless of how old you are, you can still learn things.
Correct.
Right? And so one of the ways learning can come about is through mentors.
Correct.
And so do you have any mentors?
Unfortunately, that is an area that I am lacking in right now. And I understand the value of mentorship. Honestly, that is what helped me get to where I'm at. When I went to school at UCF, I had a decent amount of mentors that really molded me as an individual. So coming from Central Florida and then moving to Northeast Florida, it's just always been a struggle. I haven't really been able to find someone that I actually connected with that I think could mentor me. And part of that is my mistake, you know? I'm a little too aggressive and abrasive sometimes, and I'm working on that. But I'm still looking.
Okay. One of my past guests, Mr. Charles Griggs, he was the president of the 100 Black Men of Jacksonville.
Correct.
And that organization, I can speak personally because my son was a mentee in that program. I would highly recommend you reach out to the 100 because that is an organization that phenomenal men who are about, supporting one another, but also giving back. Correct. So I would recommend that you do that. What is your current marital status?
Hold on. We keeping this PG? I am currently going through a divorce.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. And people think divorce, I was divorced.
Yeah.
And then widowed.
Correct.
Life happens.
It does.
Some things work, some things don't work. And God meets us right where we are, each individual person differently.
Correct.
So no judgment at all. But talk to me about that. That is something that a lot of us, men and women, deal with. Correct. And it can have a negative impact. Talk to me about where you are with that in your life.
So it's still pretty fresh.
Okay.
Right? You, off camera, you know a lot more details than I'm going to say in this episode.
Okay.
But I think it was eye-opening, and I think it had to happen. I hate to say it that way, but it made me learn a lot of things about myself, and I'm not going to talk negatively about her by any means. It just did not work, right?
Okay.
So in the process, I realized I didn't even know who I was and what I wanted. And going through that journey of trying to make that marriage work, and trying to be a team player and trying my hardest, truly to make it work, and sacrificing more for that individual than I have for anybody else, made me realize I didn't love myself as much as I should have.
Wow.
Right?
That's important.
And as I reflect, before I jump into anything serious, it goes back to I got to work on myself, right? Some childhood traumas, right? The thing that I keep highlighting is my father not being in my life really did impact me. And I didn't realize how much it did.
Wow.
Until I got older. And,
Okay.
keep it 100, It took some mental health counseling for me to actually understand what's going on. And being in the African American culture, right? Caribbean culture for me, that's very taboo. But I could not get the healing and understanding had I not gone through that experience, right? And seek outside counseling, right? I don't think I would have some of the clarity that I do have now.
You have hit on so many topics, Daniel, that one could be a whole episode. Mental health in the Black and brown communities being tabooed.
Correct.
Us not finding the help we need because we don't want somebody to say, "Oh, you crazy."
Correct.
I mean, you know what I mean? And that is not an acceptable term, but we suffer in silence.
Yes.
Because we don't share, we don't seek out, we don't seek help, we don't talk. And you hit on so many things. You talked about not knowing yourself. And so for any relationship, a woman in a relationship, a man in a relationship, whatever, if you don't know self, you're going to hitch yourself to anybody's wagon.
Yep.
And say, just take me along.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. And sometimes we have to go through those bad experiences because relationships are nothing more than a mirror, right? They definitely allow us to see ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Correct.
And so you hit on so many things. So tell me, with those things, as a man, what are you doing? Because here's the thing, when we don't confront, things just continue to fester. So what are you doing as a man to deal with the things you talked about? Some of the mental health things, and you said you went through counseling.
Yep.
Again, I commend you for that. What are you doing to learn yourself better? What type of things are you doing to help in those areas?
So when it comes to learning myself, right, I go back to being a child. I didn't have certain experiences growing up. So now I'm at the point where it's like, I don't know what I don't like. So let me just try everything. Right?
That's different.
I don't know if I don't like it if I've never tried
Well,
it.
this is true. It's logical.
So it's opening my mind to new experiences and new things. That's pretty much how I'm going to do it. So I'm trying to travel more.
Okay.
Right? I do know I love the outdoors.
Okay.
I like being out there. So looking at new outdoor activities that I've never done, skydiving, things like that, right?
Okay.
Because I don't know, I've never had those experiences, and it's kind of embarrassing to admit at 35 that I feel like I'm just now starting my life, but that's where I'm at.
It's not embarrassing. I mean, I can't tell you how to feel, but the fact that you're sharing, you're helping somebody else. You're helping another man, even a woman, with everything you're saying and how transparent you're being.
Correct.
Because I can say it again, we suffer in silence.
Correct.
And you're helping somebody right now.
And the biggest thing that you just hit was being transparent. Until I became more open and honest about how I felt, I never found peace. Now, I've made mistakes, right? We are all human. No one on this earth is perfect.
This is true.
But now that I accept my past behaviors, past mistakes, and I look forward, I feel like I'm so much more relieved just being 100% authentic Daniel Estevan Basil McKenzie.
Wow. Say that name again.
Daniel Estevan Basil McKenzie.
Okay. And you said a little Caribbean.
Yeah.
What exactly?
My family's from Jamaica. I was born in the United States, but I was raised by a very strong Jamaican woman from the backwoods of Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, right? So my grandmother was like everything for me, and she still is. She's my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, my father, and it's just everything. So the strength that she has, the strength that I've seen her exhibit, it's just, I got to the point where I, as a man, I can't even make excuses in life because it's nothing I complain about, she hasn't experienced worse.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, and so your grandmother helped shape the man you are today.
She is the only reason why I am this way.
I love it.
100%.
Okay. Daniel, really, I mean, the courage to have this conversation and to be transparent and to share you cannot imagine the people that you're going to help.
And honestly, it goes back to being real and transparent, right? I've gone through a lot. And once again, I'm going to keep some of this juicy details for later, but like I've gone through a lot and I never found peace until I just became 100% authentic me.
Authenticity.
Correct.
And, people think, to move people or to touch people, you need to have accolades and this. No, you just need to be authentic.
Correct.
People want to know that people are real.
Correct.
And that's how you help other people.
Correct.
I had an opportunity to speak to a group of women, and I started off by saying, everybody in here is a survivor. I started at not where I am today, but where I was, and just came right out with it.
Correct.
And because divorced, widowed, single parent, the list goes on, but everybody can survive if you choose. I believe, in God and in prayer, and there's something greater. If I depend on my mind, I would really be jacked up. So I better lose something higher than me.
Correct.
To get you through those tough times, because life is going to life.
Correct. And this whole experience has brought me a lot closer to God.
Wow.
Because I swear to you, there's been some life-altering events that would not have happened had I not been in this marriage.
Wow.
That I'm like, there's no denying God is real.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. So, Daniel moving forward.
Yes.
Daniel 2.0. Give me those names again. Daniel
Esteban.
Esteban.
It's Spanish.
Okay.
It means Stephen.
Stephen Esteban.
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 Basil is my grandfather's name.
Basil.
Yeah. And McKenzie.
And McKenzie.
Is the last name. Daniel. Actually,
Esteban.
Every name has meaning.
Every name has meaning.
Yes.
And you know what? That makes me think of something else. There's power in a name.
Correct.
And when you know your name, and you know where your name came from, the confidence you have
Correct.
is amazing.
Correct.
So, Daniel Esteban,
Basil
McKenzie.
Yes.
Moving forward, I hear you want to travel, because that's something, those are some experiences you want to have.
Correct.
It's going to help you to navigate these waters.
Correct.
Okay. You work. Now, let's talk about that workaholic stuff.
Workaholic.
Working is good.
Yes.
But being a workaholic can have counter effects.
Yes. And I'm aware of it.
Yep. So I would encourage you to find ways to work, enjoy your work.
Yes.
But you're more than your work.
I agree. And I think, honestly, just watching you has inspired me. And I know I don't talk about it, but like, honestly, watching you does inspire me
to
actually do more than just work.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah. Because, my mom, I grew up on my mother saying you have to have a Paul, a Timothy, and a Barnabas in your life. So your Paul is your mentor. That's the person that pours into you.
Correct.
Your Timothy is who you mentor, right? And then your Barnabas is your compadre. That's the person that's walking along with you.
Correct.
When you have those three, you have balance.
I agree with that, 100%. I didn't realize that until I was much older.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So I would encourage you, get involved with the 100 or some other organization, so that in that type of organization, you would get both. At some point, you're going to mentor. You have some mentees. And you're definitely going to have men who's going to pour into you. So you will have mentors.
No, it honestly sounds like a really good opportunity. I did watch some of that episode.
Okay.
So I did get some of the details on it. But I think I might take that opportunity.
Yeah.
I think it is something that I need.
Yeah. We all, again, I go back to what I said earlier. No matter how old you are or what you're doing, we all need people to pour into us. That's what a mentor is. People think, oh no, I've arrived, or I'm good.
You never arrive.
No, we've never arrived. As long as we're living and breathing, we have more to learn. And there are people who know more than us.
Correct.
So so to continue sharpening your axe You're continuing to be iron that sharpens iron. We need people to pour into us.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would be your last parting words you want to leave with a man out there who's trying to figure it out, or a woman who's trying to say, oh, what do you want to say?
Patience, don't rush it, right? So I think for me, I've always been trying to force relationships because I have this dream of being a good father and how I want this perfect relationship. But now where I'm at is just make it more natural. I know for women, I think they have that biological time clock, which from what I hear, right?
Okay.
You can chime in.
Okay.
But from what I hear is, when women start getting around 30, they want to start having some babies, right? So it's a little bit different when it comes to men and women, right? Because for me, I'm 35, but I'm not necessarily on that clock.
Right. And I'm a woman. I've had 3 children, and of course, we want to have our families by a certain age because your body obviously is changing.
Correct.
Your patience is changing.
Correct.
Your mind is changing.
Correct.
For men, it's a little different,
Yep.
But I think I commend you for wanting to be that great father.
Correct.
For wanting to be that great provider.
Correct.
That's an aspiration you have, and that's commendable.
Correct.
That's commendable. So, well, listen, Daniel, thank you so much. I know with all the self-reflection that you're doing through this process, the authenticity that you talked about, the transparency, the honesty, man, watch out, ladies, Daniel 2.0. I'm just saying.
It might be 3.0.
3.0. I'm just saying. No, but on a real tip, like you are doing the work to help you become better. And that's all of we're all on that journey. Yeah. But the fact that you can be so transparent and so honest with yourself, man, I'm telling you, the sky's the limit. So I think you're great.
I appreciate it.
Yep. So listen, guys, I want to thank Daniel, and I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Trust and Know, the Jackie Boy Podcast. We always want to bring you people who have something to say. And this young man, Daniel Esteban Basil McKenzie, had something to say. And I hope that he inspired you, man or woman, to be the best version of yourself, to work on yourself, to be transparent, to be authentic, to be honest. That's the only way we can be better. So thanks again, Daniel. Listen, we're on every second and fourth Tuesday of every month. We're on all your major podcast platforms. If you've heard anything that we've said that has helped you, share it with somebody. Like and share. Let them know that the Jackie Boy Podcast is bringing you people who have something to say. So until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening and watching this episode of Trust, Then Know, the Jackie Boy Podcast. We hope this episode has left you informed, intrigued, and inspired to become your best self. Remember to tune in every second and fourth Tuesday of the month and trust, then know.